Hey gang, it's Jay from JTech and welcome to another JTech video. Now, today I'm going to be doing a video about Huawei, and it's not going to be the original video I planned out, which was going to talk about how Huawei thrived and succeeded in Zambia, but because it's like the biggest tech news probably of the year so far, we're going to dissect the Huawei ban. How is this going to affect you, the end user, especially those who are currently based in Zambia or Zambians based abroad, or even any person who is currently using a Huawei or Honor smartphone at the moment. How is this going to affect you, and what alternatives do Huawei have for their phones in the future? If you have been living under the rock for the past couple of days or so, Huawei have been banned from partnering with any United States business. This means that not only are their smartphones under this ban, they will be banned from using any of their telecommunications devices as well as laptops and tablets. And what this essentially means is that companies ranging from Google, Qualcomm, Intel, Nvidia, and so many others will not partner up with Huawei, especially in the implementation of 5G modems, 5G chips, and so on, as well as, integrating these components into their smartphones. But the biggest one that came out of this ban was the fact that Google have officially dropped support for any Huawei phone for the next 3 months going onwards. And now this is going to be the kicker. Many people who live in China or who have lived in China for a bit know that China recently banned United States businesses from conducting their or offering their services in the Chinese mainland. And so what this essentially means for the rest of the world is Huawei smartphones starting in August will no longer receive updates from Google as well as Google Play service updates, and they will no longer use essential services like Gmail, YouTube, the Play Store, and any other Google related application that is essential in an Android smartphone. And this really shook me down to my core. When I read this news, I thought it was just going to be a ban that will affect United States citizens. But since Google is one of, if not the biggest company in the world and controls a huge chunk of the many services we use in technology today, it's such an emphatic piece of news to hear, and to see how this is going to affect you and me as well is something that we must dissect. So many people have been giving alternatives as to how Huawei will move on from this, how Huawei have built on from this. And recent reports have stated that Huawei were working on a solution in lieu of this trade embargo that has been placed by the United States. They've been working on it for the past couple of years, and it has been tested in China and it has received very good reviews. So I will try leaving a link if possible. If not, let's just go on and discuss about the possible alternatives that Huawei could come up with in order to soften the blow that will most likely affect the shareholders and the company itself, but more importantly, the customer, who is pretty much the largest stakeholder in the company. So many people have said that since Huawei is the second largest smartphone manufacturer in the world, this is going to advantage two companies that it sits in between, and that's Samsung at number 1 and Apple at number 3. I personally believe it is going to benefit Apple more than Samsung. Samsung smartphones have been dipping in smartphone market share for the last couple of years, but not only that, even general smartphone sales over the last 2 or 3 years have taken a significant dip. But I feel it could benefit Apple more, since Apple is a United States based company. It's going to boost Apple's position, and Apple will most likely claim their number 2 position in terms of smartphone market share. But for Huawei, who have made so many large inroads over the last 5 to 6 years and who were largely unaffected by the smartphone sales dip in the last year or so, this is going to be a massive blow for their market share as well as their business, seeing that a huge chunk of it is based on smartphones, and obviously their 5G innovation that they're racing with together with companies in the United States is going to take a massive hit. And how do Huawei counter this? Well, they've been working with many other companies from outside of the United States, working with companies within Europe like Siemens, as well as Ericsson, and local Chinese-based companies to make their own chips, which they've been doing for quite a while. They have built in-house chips, the Kirin in-house chips, and they have also worked with another Chinese firm, MediaTek. It's the software part that is really intriguing. Like, Android is the world's largest operating system, and how do Huawei counter the fact that they won't be able to get Google Play services from August onwards? I've been hearing many people say that Huawei have been coming up with their own operating system and they will do fine without Android. Android is just, right now, is going to signal the death of Android. And hold on a second, guys. Let's be real here. Software right now is such a very, very huge gamble and a massive risk to take. There's a reason why there is a duopoly in terms of the software space. You can say with Windows as well, but the most important operating systems on the planet right now are Android and iOS. And it's been like that for the last 4 years, ever since Windows Phone servers shut down a couple of years back. All I can say is, for Huawei to create a new operating system out of the blue, they will need a lot of time and patience. Even with Android, when Android was just gaining ground in the late 2000s and early 2010s, it took a lot of trust issues for people to get over. It took a lot of hard work and enticing developers to develop applications for this platform, and now it's the biggest platform on the planet right now. And for Huawei to just come up with something and expect everyone to just jump on the boat immediately, it's not that easy. Look at what Samsung were doing 6 years ago, when there were very, very high rumors of them leaving Android and creating their own operating system named Tizen, which, let's be honest, was pretty much a flop. All I'm gonna say is, it's not that easy. There's a reason why we haven't had a competing operating system for quite a while now. It's been these two who've just been going at each other for the last 4 or 5 years. Huawei are not some tiny startup from Silicon Valley that can just claim to take over the world and do it in a snap. They are one of the biggest companies on the planet right now and run a bunch of telecommunication towers, receivers, and many other huge things outside of their smartphone business. Many other huge technological advancements that are contracted and controlled by Huawei Telecommunications. And for them to create a new operating system is no easy feat. Samsung tried to do that with Tizen a couple of years back when there were rumors of them leaving Android. It didn't work so well for them. It was going to be a huge disaster if they tried to just completely pull their Galaxy smartphones away from Android. It was just going to fail massively. And, well, Nokia, who have been rebranded under HMD, could have created a new operating system to how they were back in the days. They decided to jump on Android because it's not that easy. It's very difficult to just come up with a new operating system from scratch. And so the only alternative, reasonable alternative Huawei has here is to use an Android version that is not laced with Google Play services, which is pretty much how they work in China. They do not have Google Play services because of the Chinese embargo that was placed on United States businesses such as Facebook and Google and Twitter and many other technological companies. I feel like for the US it's also the same thing. For me, I believe for them to just create a new operating system, they need so many avenues. They need to entice as many developers as possible. Once they do get core apps from one of the big developers around the world, then hopefully they could get enough customers to buy into this version of Android or their new operating system with an alternate app store. And if it works very well, then we could see the rise of a third operating system from China that promises so much. Of course, customers love to care about software updates and app support and everything. But at the end of the day, with the market share that iOS and Android have built over the last decade, it's very difficult to see how a third operating system would ease Huawei's woes, because I'm scratching my head literally just trying to figure out how they can get themselves out of this rut. They have been developing an in-house operating system for a while, and it's been trialed in China and has been received very well by the Chinese audience. But the smartphone market is more than just China. Even though it's the largest smartphone market in the world, there's obviously the United States, there's obviously Europe, Southeast Asia, Africa as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they'll come out from this. It's really such major news in the tech world, and I would love to see your views in the comments down below. What do you think Huawei should do in order to cushion the blow that this ban has affected on their devices? So yeah guys, that's the end of my video, and I hope you like this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And guys, I know I haven't uploaded consistently. It's because I've had so many things to deal with, especially with school and my nearly dead laptop that has failed to edit any videos properly. But rest assured guys, after I get exams out of the way, I'm coming up with videos pretty much every single day of the week till the opening of next semester. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Jay from JTech. Talk to you guys next time.